And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today we are going to be talking about a multitude of things. We're going to be talking about Cavs and Knicks that collapse in game one, game two tonight. We'll get into that and how the Cavs can bounce back, or if they can bounce back, it's going to take a lot of mental capacity on that. And we'll also be talking about this Thunder Spurs series. Game two was last night. Thunder came away with the win. We'll be talking about that, and then we'll get into the 2014 playoff discussion. I might do. It'll probably be a rant because 24 teams is just stupid. And we'll get into it. Let's start with one of the worst collapses I had ever seen. I know it happened on Tuesday night. I know I'm a little bit late, but bro, it's one of the worst collapses I've seen between Cavs. Cavs Knicks game one. Cavs were up 22 with 7 minutes left and lost the game and got blitzed. Um, like there were some losses in the NBA playoffs where teams I don't know if you recover from. To me, this one right here could be considered one of them losses. It's a game where you're in the Garden, and look, I thought for the first half neither team played well. In the second half, the Cavs played well, defensively, offensively, and they're starting to pull away from the Knicks at the Garden. The Knicks weren't shooting it well. The Towns wasn't really at his best in that game. They kept Brunson in check for majority of the game. I mean, your bench was and then a Brunson explosion happened. He hunted James Harden on every switch. Okay, here's my issue with the Cavs. If Harden's gonna get switched on to Brunson, and did Harden make him take some tough shots? And Brunson may, yeah. But at some point, bro, you just gotta come double, bro. You just gotta you gotta come double. Every single time you have to come double. Again, Sham makes a corner three, it rolls in. Okay, I live with that. I'll live with that. Bridges makes some shots. I'll live with that. If Hart makes a shot, I'll live with that. I cannot live with Jalen Brunson just getting 38 and just being on complete heater. See, I know Jalen Brunson can beat me. I know that. But that's the issue. And then during this whole avalanche of a run, I looked up and I said, with 5 minutes to go, I said, it's 14. It's a 14-point game. They should be fine. Right? But I would have liked them to call a timeout. I'll look up again. Now it's under 10. Bro, you gotta call timeout, sell things down. Didn't happen. Then it got like to 5. And I think they may have called timeout there or whatever. Atkinson said he was saving his timeouts. For what? I understand. Look, he wants to have one if they want to challenge, and then he wants to have an extra one. Wants to have that other one just in case. Call a timeout so you can set a play. So he would like to have to. But at that point in the game, you were in control of it. They go on a nice little run. Okay, quick timeout. If they had scored 8 straight, quick timeout. But no, we don't call timeout. The game, honestly, when Merrill shot the 3 at the end of the game, I don't know how that didn't go in. I don't know how that didn't go in. Like, genuinely, it's halfway down, just bouncing back out. I don't know how that doesn't go in. And we go to overtime. Once that game got into overtime, You knew the Cavs weren't going to win that. And they got blitzed in overtime because you gave the Knicks, even Jalen Brunson's like, I don't know how we won that game. I know how y'all won that game. The Cavs collapsed and you went crazy, Jalen. You went crazy. You went insane. Charles Barkley called it the Brunson burner after the game. That's what it was. He went crazy. And then I also thought they put in Shaman. I thought Shaman was secretly an MVP of this game because when they put him in there, they were just looking for some edge defensively because they were getting carved up, they were getting killed, and he was made in. And I thought he did a very good job defensively, and then he hit a couple of threes. Like down the stretch of that game, he was in because I think his defense really helped them come alive. I think the Knicks, they were down 22, and the Garden was deflated, right? Once they got it down to about 12, they're like, this is doable with 5 minutes. They thought they could do, like, once they got down to 12, okay, this is doable. And then the Cavs, they just didn't. Offensively, they couldn't make a shot. It was, that's a bad loss. Especially in Mitchell. People are going to talk about Harden. I'll say it again. The best player on this team is Donovan Mitchell. He disappeared. He disappeared. Donovan Mitchell had 26 points through 3 quarters. He had 3 points in the fourth quarter in overtime. He disappeared. That's what happened in the biggest moment. While Brunson rose, he shrunk and disappeared. He just took. Even on the last shot of regulation, he took himself out the play. Now, a lot of people saying he hurt that ankle or whatever. And if you're hurt, come out the game. If you are injured and you can't come out the game, we can't have you on the floor just being a liability, not doing anything. And he goes after the game, we blew it. Yeah, y'all blew it. 22 points with 7. This isn't it's one of the worst. Because at least last year when the Knicks blew the East Finals in Game 1 to the Pacers, they were the Pacers were just on a fire with magnets, and Neesmith was just, by the way, it's 1 year to the date, May 21st, but he was just they were just making some incredible shots, and it's not like the Knicks weren't scoring. The Knicks scored plenty enough. It was insane they couldn't miss. And yeah, there were a couple mistakes by the Knicks down that stretch, but for most part, it's just the Pacers were just unconscious. And then you get a lucky bounce off, goes all the way up, comes back down. The Cavs just forgot how to play basketball for the last 7 minutes of the game and lost. That's what happened. You give credit to the Knicks, but man, you've got game. Because all of a sudden, okay, you went on the road, tries to get to Detroit, and then you come in here, and if you had continued the way you were playing, and you had won that game by like 15, 20 points, we go, oh, not only do you steal game 1, and the pressure's on the Knicks in game 2, you really send a statement, be like, and all right, this ain't gonna be no easy series. And your confidence is through the roof. Now you're down 0-1, and tonight you have, because I'm gonna be real, I don't know if they have a chance tonight. Like, is their mental capacity, are the Cleveland Cavaliers mentally ready to really take that next step and win tonight? Because if they win tonight, that will tell me a lot about their mental and how it works and how they have a short memory and all that. If they find a way to win tonight, or even if they compete, like if they get blown out, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know. But even if you lose the game and it's by 3, that game one loss gonna hurt even more, but okay, as long as it's a competitive type game. How they play tonight is gonna tell me a lot. But yeah, the Knicks won game one. Now the Knicks here, there's still pressure because okay, you didn't play well in game one. You were able to get away with it. Now here's game two. You have to play well and you have to play better. Because now, if the Cavs come in there and get one anyway, and I go back Saturday night and it's a 1-1 series, and we know how good the Cavs are at home, barring this postseason, barring that game six, just disaster against Detroit. I mean, you get what I'm saying? So, I think the Knicks are going to win tonight, but because I just don't see how Cleveland gets up off the mat after that. I just don't see how they get off the map. But yeah, my prediction is the Knicks take a 2-0 series lead because I just don't think mentally the Cavs. I've got questions about their. I still have some questions about their mental toughness. Now, let's go to Thunder and Spurs. The Thunder won last night at 2. Injuries galore in this series now. J Dub still has that lingering hamstring, went out, didn't return. Harper went out, didn't. Dylan Harper for Spurs went out, didn't return. And Fox has also been out. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say the about I guess the refereeing, because everybody's gonna has been on Twitter that I've seen talking about the refs and all that. Look, look. Call the game how it's supposed to be called. If you're gonna give the Thunder a level of physicality, that's fine, but you also have to get the Spurs that same level of physicality. It's gonna be a physical series. It just is what it is. It's going to be a physical series. But what Hardenstein was doing last night to Wimby was just straight. I mean, mug assault. I don't even know. Like Hardenstein was doing whatever he got to do to try to just keep Wimby off the glass and just keep him down low. And look, credit to Hardenstein. He people thought this wasn't going to be a series for him. He had 10, he had double double. He had 10-13 last night. Played a very good game. I also thought Cason Wallace played well. I thought Cason Wallace gave you some excellent minutes defensively, and he hit 4 threes. Caruso has been great through 2 games, but it's still advantage Spurs because they got game one. Now you go back to San Antonio. Now you go to San Antonio for game 3, and that is the big one because if the Thunder win that, now they're up 2-1. They've got the momentum, and they've taken back the home court. But if the Spurs win game 3, obviously either team who's down 2-1, there's tremendous pressure. But if you're the Thunder in that game, that's big time pressure. Look, I understand people are gonna be like, they were down 2-1 against Indiana and they were down 2-1 against Denver last year, but this is the first time this postseason you feel like that would have been some major adversity. And let's see if they rise up again to the challenge, especially if there's no J Dub in that. So again, we'll see. I think Fox is going to play game 3. I don't know about Dylan Harper. They said Fox is a game time decision. I think he'll play. I do not think J Dub plays. I just think that hammy's still lingering. Man, I just I don't see a way where he plays at either game in San Antonio. I truth be told, I just really don't see it. I'm just being honest. I really don't see it. But yeah, uh, that to me, that series. Also, another thing of last night, SGA was very good. The Castle had 9 turnovers. Again, look, you're not going to beat the Thunder with 21 turnovers if you're the Spurs, but a lot of that has to go with Harper gets hurt, and you can't have in one of your off guards who's not really one of your primary ball handlers making decisions against OKC. Just with the way they turn you over, that's not gonna work. But yeah, I think the Thunder they needed to win because if they didn't down 0-2, I mean almost a wrap. But they did what they needed to do. I'm really the ref talk. You're always gonna get ref talk with OKC and the way they defend it. It's getting what Dort and them do sometimes, especially, and it's really Dort. It gets borderline to a point where it's flat out dirty what he does sometimes. Harnstein, I mean, look, you're gonna have grabbing and all that. I don't think anything he did last night was dirty. Now, was he fouling? Yes, but I would say, look, if that series is going to be played like this, like that, I just want the both teams to have the same level of physicality. That's all I want there. That's all I want. I know the OKC defenders will come out. You want physicality, and then you got it. No, I want a physicality that's on the line of not we're not hacking people, we're not grabbing people, we're not trying to dislocate people's shoulders at this rate. We're not going into people's knees, like we're not doing any of that. I do want good physical defense, but I want it to where you're not hacking, fouling. Like I still want physical defense, but within the confines in the rules of the game. That's all I want. And OKC's going to have a level of physicality. I understand that, but so does San Antonio. Just make if you call the game the way the game is supposed to be called, there'll be no issues. Just call the game fair. Just call the game the way the game's supposed to be called. Give both teams an equal level of physicality, and when you see a foul, call it. That's just my whole thing. Let both teams have that level of physicality and call the game the way it's supposed to be called. That's it. Now, let's get into the dumbest thing you'll hear probably today. It's a 2014 college football playoff. Uh it's being debated by a conference of commissioners. Commit the Big 10. It's backed by the ACC and the Big 12 as well. Coaches are backing it. Some of the coaches are backing this. Shocking. First of all, the coaches that are backing this are hilarious because they think a 2014 playoff is going to be a safety net to keep their job. That's not going to be the case. You're still like if you still don't perform, even I made the playoff, bruv. It's 2014. You're gonna get fired. Like it is what it is. Like people know how I feel about college basketball going to 76 teams. I feel like that's stupid, but you know what? Even though I don't like it, at least it's like playing it's the playing it's a couple extra games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then when we get to the and then when we get to Thursday, it's the regular 68 team bracket. So you know what? I can, even though I don't like it, because why do I need to see like 17, 16 Auburn? I can stomach it because when you get to the actual Thursday, it's 68 teams. And people and a lot of people don't even consider the dating and those playing games the actual bracket anyways. So so you know, you get to so when you get to that Thursday, it'll be like nothing new. It's just I don't like it there. This is just preposterous. 24 teams. Nobody with a brain should want a 2014 playoff. Why do I want a 20? Bro, you're actively eliminating the importance of the regular season. You've already kind of done it a little bit because it's a 12-team playoff. And yes, it's the regular it has the regular season been totally diminished? No. But it's not as cuz if we go if if we go pre-expansion and if we go BCS, every single game was, if you were trying to make this national championship, every single game was the national championship because it was only two teams that was voting on by computers. So you really, if you wanted to get in, couldn't lose a game unless you had a absolutely chaotic year like it was 2007 where LSU loses two games, but because the entire landscape is just upside down, you're able to go and make the BCS national championship with two losses. The BCS system, did it get it right all the time? No. But did it get it right sometimes? Yes. But even that had its flaws. Now we're going to the four-team system. I was for expansion in terms of the four teams because I can understand why. Because to me, the difference between 4 and 5 was not that big, and I can make the argument if you're the fifth best team and you have a loss, you one singular loss on your resume. There were some years where I'm like, okay, Ohio State got left out, and look, I understand it, but I can make a case it should have been playing for a national title, right? So that's why I was kind of for expansion. I said go to 8. It's the best number. You don't have to do the buys or anything. You just go 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. You seed them right. We don't do this automatic bids crap. You just seed them like that. You can still have, if you want to do some on campus playoff games for the quarterfinals, and then in the semifinals you you do it where it's like at bowl semifinals and the final is at a bowl site, fine. Do that. Or if you want them all at both sides, fine. I don't care how you do it. But do it like that. I think 8, because I think on a given year, 8 teams can win the national championship. 12 is fine. The system is fine. I just don't think 12 teams can win the national championship. That's just my opinion. To be honest, I just don't think 12 teams on a given year can win the national championship. I just don't think they can do. I just don't think that can happen realistically. But I think, as I've seen the first 2 seasons of the 12 teams, the drama is still in the sport, and now more teams are involved because more teams think they have a shot to get in this 12-team playoff, and that's fine. Once you get to 24 and 16, now we're just, what are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? 16, I guess it would be okay, but if I'm being honest, I don't want to see 3-loss Vanderbilt play Georgia, who has one loss, or Ohio State. I'm kind of good on that front, to be honest. But you know what? If you go to 16, Division Two, I wouldn't love it, but I again, I feel like it should be eight. Eight was perfect. Eight was a perfect spot, and they did 12. Why'd they just do 12? I don't know, but I'm just like, keep it at 12. Again, the 2014, the proposed. This is what the brackets this is what the brackets would. The SEC, okay, the SEC is currently split on the idea, as powerful figures including Georgia President Jerry Moorhead has strongly pushed back against jumping from 12 to 24 teams, arguing it would devalue high rate stakes regular season games. Somebody who actually has a brain in here. The proposed bracket would largely feature at-large bids selected by the CFP committee, doing away with automatic qualifiers. We should be doing away with automatics anyway, just keeping the 12. So you're telling me we have to have automatic qualifiers now because it's 12. I'm sorry. You should not be automatically rewarded for winning your comp. That's just, in a 12 team playoff. That just doesn't make sense. You should not be automatically rewarded for winning, for being, especially if you're a G5 team. Because, okay, Boise made it the first year. Boise was in the top 10. So they earned the right to get in. I'm sorry. Tulane, JMU. JMU was the 25th ranked team. How do they jump from 25 and over to 12? That doesn't make any sense. And they said, though, it will guarantee one spot for the highest ranked group of 16. I just, I just, I. It's so dumb. And then the Big Ten commissioner's talking about the baseball and the MLB, and I guess what he's trying to say is more teams will be in it later in the season. You're gonna devalue. You are going to devalue these high stakes regular seasons game, and then you're going to get rid of conference championships. And I will always be for conference championships, because one of my belief systems is conference championships are a big deal. You Number one, I go last year. Number one versus number two, Ohio State versus Indiana. Don't tell me that game did not matter, because when Indiana won, their coaching staffs and their players and the fans, including me, are jumping up and down because A, they beat Ohio State, and B, they won the Big Ten for the first time since like the 60s. So don't give me the conferences don't matter. Okay, Duke wasn't going to be in the playoff even if they won last year. They went out there and beat Virginia. 8-5, won the ACC. You're gonna tell me that game did not matter to them and their fans who traveled down there, and when they picked off Chandler Morris, the Duke fans go ballistic. You're telling me that game doesn't matter? Georgia, you're telling me Georgia in 2024 beating they would have been in the playoff anyway, beating Texas and coming back from 10 down, and Texas pissed, mad. They both ended up being in the playoffs anyway. You're telling me the way that game was played, as physical, as hard hitting as it was, you're telling me that game doesn't matter? So I will always be for conference championships. I just will be. So that's it. So apparently Fox wants a 2014 college football playoff. The reason they want this is because they'll get some playoff games at their network. Because right now, all that Fox really has, they'll get the Super Bowl every, I think, 3 or 4 years. And the NFC Championship game is really their peak of their football, because you NFC playoffs and all that. So they get that. But then after that, it's kind of like in terms of they don't really have a lot for basketball. Don't give me the crown tournament. Uh, I guess they had the Big East tournament final for what it's worth, but again, in terms of football, it's mainly the NFL. They won a 2014 playoff because in terms of college football, there's if they have the Big Ten championship, that's really where their season ends. I mean, yeah, they do the Holiday Bowl on in January, but in terms of the high leverage games, that's where it ends. The Big Ten championship. They want they want playoff games. That's all they care about. They want playoff games. ESPN's pushing back because they don't want to lose playoff games because that's revenue that they are losing. Because anything that goes beyond 16, they won't be able to put it all on their networks. Even when they give it to TNT, that's still like ABC, ESPN still has the rights to that. So again, like this is the problem with college football. You've got all these different networks and all these different agendas everywhere. Even if you're just a talking head about the sport. If you're at ESPN, you're probably favoring the SEC. If you're at Fox, you're probably favoring the Big Ten. If you're at a Big 12 channel or something, you're favoring the Big 12, but it's mainly Big Ten and SEC, right? If you're at CBS, you're probably favoring the Big Ten. Be- because obviously the rights to that. So it's just this 2014 playoff proposal, it's so stupid, it's so egregious. Uh it will ruin the regular season of the sport, and I can make the case the college football regular season is the best regular season because there is so much controversy and drama, and there is nothing like it. That Indiana Penn State game last year, that incredible finish. In Indiana, if they had lost that game, yeah, it would have sucked. But it would have been like, well, I mean, we're still going to be in the playoff. It was important for them to win that game, not only because of the Big Ten championship standings that you will be getting rid of. It was also important because of the playoff, and with 12 teams, you never know how this thing could shake out. So it was a big deal. The 2014 playoff is not good for college football. It's not good for college football. Plain as day. Tony Petitti is wrong. He's wrong. 20 he said I don't know how again these people I've said it on multiple occasions. We have we have idiots running the sport. Really we have doofuses running the sport. That's what it is. I would challenge any of them. If I was in a room, I would challenge any of them and I would ask them, what do you think makes college football great? And they probably wouldn't be able to tell you because all they look at it is at money and money and money. You're talking like they think college football is a big ATM. And yes, does money matter? Yes, but it's not the only thing that matters in this sport. It's not the only thing that matters. Well, we're trying to make it more like the NFL. With all due respect, I love the NFL. You know this. I am an NFL diehard. I don't want this to become like the NFL. And also, it can't be like the NFL because in the NFL, there's what, 32 teams. College football, you've got like 120 something Division 1 teams. So, well, we're going to make it like the NFL. It's never the NFL. Where they've lost me and where they're losing people is they tell you those other bowl games don't matter and what matters is only the CFP. That's false. That's bull. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you didn't make the BCS national championship, imagine telling, yeah, even though you were the third ranked team and didn't make the BCS national championship, and even though you went to like the Cotton Bowl and won, your season just is irrelevant. Imagine telling somebody that back in 2005 or something like that. They'd be like, shut up. What are you talking about? Now it's like, well, even though you missed the playoff, you know what, BYU, you missed the playoff, even though you won like 11, 12 games, won a bowl game, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Watch USC, TCU. Those two teams weren't nowhere near the playoffs last year. And TCU's on a third string quarterback. And they fought their tails off. And they won that game. That game didn't matter. That game wasn't going to change anything. All these bowl games, it's exhibition. It's always been an exhibition. But you're playing it and you want to win because you're a competitor. Penn State USC, Rose Bowl 2016. This is the last thing before I'm out. That game, truthfully, was an exhibition. In that Rose Bowl game. It didn't mean much in terms of the next year. In terms of the next year, like, in terms of playoff implications and all that, it wasn't a playoff game, right? So to those people, you'd be like, it meant nothing. To the players and the fans, it meant something because A, it's the Rose Bowl, and B, both teams have won the conference championships to get there, and you're a competitor. You want to compete. You want to win. That classic game, that did not feel like an exhibition I was watching. So to say that if you don't make this what should be 8 but 12 team CFP, to say that if you don't make that it doesn't matter, it's ridiculous. But this 24 team CFP, it's ridiculous. And it's nonsensical, and it's not going to help the sport. So I don't know why 24 teams is just preposterous. And I really hope we have people with a brain that step in the room and say, no, we're going to stay with 12 and we're going to stay with that for the foreseeable future. Because 24, it just ruins the regular season. And also, you people don't even know how to do a proper calendar right. The national title game this year is on like January 26th. So you don't even know how to do a calendar right. So don't give me that. The portal's still open while playoff games are being played. So give me a break. All right. This has been an episode of that was a rant because it's just ridiculous. I'm so sick of these people trying to ruin this college football playoff. But yeah. Please like, comment. Thank you everybody for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.